Welcome to another episode of The Word Is Out. I am your host, Marsaya Taylor. We talking about police brutality. You know we got to come with another episode, a great episode that's dealing with the people out here in our community and around the world. To my left, we got brother.
Student Minister Jackson X, the local representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for the Muhammad's Mosque of Islam, number 25, located in Newark, New Jersey.
Bam, he about to hit you with some bangers and some zingers. That's it. We got sister
Shawnee Stevens, writer of the independent film A Sub in the Brick City, written to improve education and our children.
Okay. We got other sister.
Newark Brown Shields, police organization, trustee, September Phillips.
Okay, we got brother right here.
Afate Anum, web developer, part-time mentor, father of 4, black man who is proud as hell of himself and his people.
And I don't need to present this brother right here. Everybody know in the hood know this brother right here. He been on the show a few times, but we got brother right here.
Brother Malik, just a kid from Newark that was born in sewer holes and raised in abandoned buildings. Had gotten to be 44 years old and challenging everything and all thing that was forced upon him that was deemed to be his norm. I'm challenging all of that. That's all I got for right now.
And to his left, we got brother
Levi Holmes, president of Newark Brown Shields. Newark Brown Shields is the African American police organization that has been in the city of Newark since 1959. We're still here today, long and strong.
Wow. Okay, we about to hit this topic real hard and strong right here. Everybody got great opinions. We were just talking about a black man targeted when it come down to police. Brother Jackson was just letting us know how you feel about the situation.
You was asking me in terms of why they are targeted, and I think there's many variables to why they are targeted. First, you have to look at why the police department you have to look at it at its inception and why it was created and the history behind it. So when you look at it from that perspective, then you know that the police are doing exactly what they were created to do historically in this country. I don't know how many of us are familiar with the slave patrols, but if you read, W.E.B. Du Bois wrote about this 1830 in terms of why the police was created. Slave patrols, they were made to chase, capture slaves and return them to the plantation. And I believe that when you look at it in that light and in that context, I think you can understand a lot of these situations. You can put them in its proper perspective and see them, in a greater light.
When you were just here, you said you say slave patrols to put it back into the slave. I just got this book called Worse Than a Slave. You ever heard of that book? It was called Worse Than a Slave. It was what happened to the slaves after slavery was over.
Right, yeah.
And they said after slavery was over, say you hang in the front of your house or something like that, and you got caught loitering or something like that. They would take you, lock you up, and then the prison would lease you out to back to the old slave owners.
Jim Crow laws. They created Jim Crow laws because when they so-called freed us, they wanted to keep us in a state that was so close to the plantation. So they began to create laws, vagrancy laws. We couldn't, black men and women, it can only be so many of us in a group. You couldn't be out after dark. If you was out, you had to have a pass. So with so many laws that they created, that when we didn't follow those laws because they knew we wasn't in a position to follow them, then they would throw us in jail and then they would lease us out. To so many of the railroads, a lot of the homes and things that you see built, it was built on the back of so-called black prisoners.
So what you think, sister? You think that young black men are being targeted when they where they dress, where they clothes, or how they portray themselves?
I mean, look what happened to Trayvon Martin, and that's one of the most heartbreaking stories of racial profiling to me ever. I mean, kid walking down the street with some Skittles and a Snapple, and this guy say, you know, he's a criminal, I must kill him. That is evident right there.
Oh man, that sounds crazy to me.
Can I jump in there?
Oh yeah, we can jump right here to my right here.
Here's one thing that I take as a 23-year veteran of the Newark Police Department. One thing that I've learned is that it's not a policing situation so much as it is an American situation or societal situation, because society discriminates against African Americans.
Yeah.
Period, point blank. I mean, for the banking industry to, you know what I'm saying, regular employment situations across the board. The police are, it seems, the police are worse because when we discriminate against you, right, and we violate your rights, now we talk about incarceration, we talk about unjustifiable deaths. But in the other situations, we talk about your economic death as well. The police are no different from anyone else. We're human beings. We're American citizens, right?
Right.
Across the board. So you have, when a police officer engages an African American, it's just like when a banker engages an African American. Perception. What do we see? Did we get this perception from television? Did we get this perception from being a mentor? Did we get this perception from wherever? And then we act accordingly.
Right.
There are many police, like, I mean, see, because the North Bronx Shields, like other police organizations all across the country, black, white, yellow, green, have a lot of programs where they engage young people. When we engage young people, we engage society, we do the fantastic things we do in society, it affords us the ability to shun the negative imagery, right? And negative perceptions that society might tell us to believe about one another.
Right.
You know what I mean? But those of us who don't, you know what I'm saying, you may fall prey, you may fall victim. And then you have those types of situations. But by and large, I think it's a societal issue. It's bigger than just the police. It really is.
I mean,
Absolutely, it's bigger than the police.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've always said, peace, first of all, peace. I always said, man, prison. I think you asked me before, what do I remember about prison? The first thing I experienced, I remember about prison, and I said, well, I don't know how to answer that question because I was born in prison. You hear what I'm saying to you? I was born in prison. Now we're talking about police and our stuff and the way that they handle our people. Right, but then we also cannot just drop it on the police's lap. It all falls back on the lap of the fathers, the men in the community. Wait a minute, why is it that I've allowed this little black boy to be in harm's way, to continuously get gunned down or continuously be put on a tattooed on some TV screen in a negative sight? What is it about this sister that I keep allowing them to tear my sister apart? They tearing you apart to the point to where as though I put it in autopilot. You deal with me, I'm gonna tear your ass apart too. So it's bigger than that. We have to come back. We have to really literally come back. I don't care what organization you're a part of. Arm, leg, arm, head, you are an authoritative figure. That's why God created you, man. With all power and authority to fix what you see broken. You understand me? My question is, why aren't we fixing it? Oh, I get it. We're going to continuously ask the oppressor to fix what they've broken.
I was just getting ready to speak on that.
Something's very wrong with that. We have to really get the knowledge of who we are. I'm tired of asking for help from you when you've been hurting me.
Right.
Why am I asking you for a job when I know damn well you ain't gonna give me no job?
Right.
And if you do, you wanna ask me if I can lift 75 pounds. Now, I got a couple of degrees. I'm rather sharp. You like, man, you got a good back. Can you lift 75 pounds? And you only asking me that so I can help continue to empower your situation.
Exactly.
You don't care about if I got food, clothing, and shelter for mine. All you care about is, can this buck load this truck? If not, I don't give up. You hear what I'm saying to you? Right, we have to come back. We have to. It's gotten to the point now, it's 2016. Why am I still praying the same prayers for my grandfather? Grandpa's prayed the same prayers. Mommy and them is crying at the altar too, the same cries. And we saying God don't hear us. He said, yeah, I didn't answer you, but you don't want to hear my answer. My answer is you can fix it. I gave it to you, you fix it.
I think organizations like the Bronze Shields and you know, other organizations like that. That's part of that solution.
Up under one another.
Yeah.
We had a meeting the other night. I'm affiliated with an organization called Fathers on Fire. right? And we need fathers. We need fathers. Look at here, man. I don't care how many Islam alaikums you're saying. I don't care how many praise the Lord you're dealing with. No. If you just come here to tell me the word of the day, the hadith of the day, but to drop your hadith off and carry your ass on away from here because we need fathers. Yes. Look at here, man. Recently, we just had a little snow thing. The snow thing. It was a couple inches. No. We had a little snow thing. That wasn't a blizzard. We just had a little snow. Hear what I'm saying to you? We had a little snow. But before we had the snow, we was crying to God about the violence in our city. But then, if we take the time and pay attention, we'll notice that the violence is coming from us.
Yes.
It ceased during the snowstorm.
Listen, it stopped.
During that
Actually, wait, hold on.
Somebody got shot for the show.
For a show.
Children were not out shooting
But
children.
hold up, check this out. Wait a minute. For them few days, brother, we had, Channel 12 was not keep on tattooing pictures of black faces. This man just got caught for killing this man. No, it wasn't none of that. Right? For them days. But then now we ready to impeach Ras Baraka because he ain't act fast enough or good enough when we asked God to intervene.
Exactly.
He did. Set us down, not just because of the crime. He said, okay, I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna drop the snow off on you. And then now, Father,
The same thing I
it's time for you to spend some time with your boy. Yeah, Mama, it's time.
Piggyback off what he's saying.
Right.
We want to talk about two things. We were mentioning the racial profiling. First of all, our youth, our black people are not valuing each other. We're killing each other.
Right.
So what does it take for a cop to racially profile you and gun you down? Then we protest, but when it's black on black crime, where are we marching?
This is where I'm at, sister.
In terms of the classroom, as a teacher, I didn't have a mother or father behind these kids. I had an aunt. Or, kids tell me, well, I live with so-and-so and they're getting high and just getting a check from me and I'm not eating. So you know what, I'm going to go steal a car because if I go to juvie, I get 3 hots and a cop.
This is everything you need to know about our city. Shut it down.
We're talking about centuries of debasement, like literally centuries. Like if I tell you, for 400 years that you ain't ish,
guess what?
You're gonna believe it. With all your heart, even. You know what I mean? So it makes it a lot easier for me to look at anyone here and be like, well, y'all ain't worth nothing.
And if I believe that I'm nothing and you look like me, then you ain't nothing either.
Guess what? It was a fella.
So basically a domino effect.
Yeah, look, it was a wise fella.
Take your life.
It was a wise fella. I don't know his name. His name is really important to me. But what he said was, the people that are used to being oppressed for hundreds of years will eventually go into autopilot and oppress themselves. Right, now we're going to talk about our books that the holy books we love. Because the books tell me to love my oppressor. Pray for those who do you wrong and all of that.
Yeah.
But I don't ever really remember reading that to tell me to love me. But we had it was a fella named Elijah Muhammad had said, wait a minute, my people has taken enough of a beating. So we now have to come on back to school to learn to love one another.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Appletail, I look at you, we cool, we even smile together. But at the end of the day, I don't give a damn about you.
Exactly. That's what
And the thing is, because I don't give a damn about me. Yes. This is why I keep putting foreign substances in my body because I'm allowing my drugs. Wait. I'm allowing drugs to replace the hugs. But then you listen to the drugs, they said, man, you hugging me. I'm not hugging you.
Yes.
So this is why we have to really come on back because we've been deviated too far off. Right. We literally deviated too far off. If you go anywhere on the planet, we're the original people of God. Out of the over 6 billion people, out of the 4,400,000,000 people is us. And everywhere you go on 196 million, 940,000 miles on the planet Earth. Wherever we are, the conditions is the same thing. Man, talk about going back to Africa. Yeah, we gonna go get my Africa t-shirt back. But we go over there, we tore up over there too. Yeah, we messed up over there too. So everywhere we are is terrible. My question is, why? Can anybody answer that?
I would say the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan sums it up like this: he who gives you the diameter of your knowledge prescribes the circumference of your activity.
Facts. Facts.
As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Indeed.
So you can't think that a man who oppresses you is going to give you the knowledge that will enable you to get his foot or his arm off your neck.
Come on.
And I think that is one of our biggest issues is education. Talking about the Bible, it said, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. But many times we stop there and we don't continue it. It says, because they have rejected knowledge,
Right.
I will also reject thee. So it's not that the knowledge is not present, the knowledge is here, the solutions are here. But many of us have rejected those solutions that have come through men like Marcus Garvey, Denmark Vesey, Nat Turner, Deuce Muhammad, Noble Drew Ali, Martin Luther King, Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All these great leaders that we've had, they have given us solutions. And if we just concretize those solutions that they have given us and put it into a programmatic system that we can use as a healing, then we'll be better. But oftentimes when we see many things happening, we throw our arms up and we act as if there's no solution or there's no answers. The answers are here, but we have just been rejecting the answers.
True.
So they have something in law called willful ignorance.
Willful
Where
ignorance.
you are now willfully ignorant, where you are now, you have the information, but you are choosing to disregard it.
Yes.
So we got the information, but we are just not applying it and making it practical.
Can we interject on that? We have the information, but we aren't the ones that need the information. I worked in YAB in the early 90s.
What's
The
YAB?
Youth Aid Bureau.
Okay.
I was detective in the Youth Aid Bureau. And the kids were horrible. We had to go get the kids to lock them up for the different things. I said, no, we're going to do something different. We go to, the parents wouldn't come to pick the kids up, so we got to take them to the youth house. We go to these kids' houses. High Street, it was brick towers, then Hill Manor. You go into the kid house, the lights on, the oven open, they ain't got no furniture, garbage all over. So now, these kids, there's no parent here, the mother's out getting high, they done got the check. Ain't no food in the refrigerator. So these kids, we're not going to their houses. So now they're learning how to survive. They're stealing, they're robbing, they're selling the drugs. Because the little baby in there with the bottle, the 15-year-old, she making the milk. Yeah, Detective Phillips, I was stealing. I cut her face. I stole her stuff. Because I got to take care of my little brothers and sisters. So now,
That's all.
we were raised, we sit down, we eat dinner, we go in the dining room, we do homework. And I'm a product of the prison system. I wasn't in prison, but I was there every weekend. My father, Willie Rad, no, he was in, where we at? Trenton State then. Every weekend, Grandma James taking us there. The bank robber, him and Uncle Tariq. Then we go in New York, the Joint Connection up there, spending the weekends up there. Wherever he went, we went. So I know the prison system, know everybody in there, Uncle Rockmine, everybody. But I still had a home life dinner, homework. It was still there. But these kids that I work with, they don't know nothing about that. So we sitting there saying these kids bad, but why are they bad? Like you said, the tree bears what?
Right.
Okay, so that apple falling off the tree, ain't nobody never taught that apple nothing. We call them animals and savages, but what do they know to be but an animal or a savage? Nobody never told this kid we doing dinner. Oh, we used to have a play street where we go, Sam Santan Lake, blocked off, they fed us, we read books, nap time taught us how to swim. We had the basketball camps, skateboard. Where are those programs at for these African American children? So you're saying they're savages, but what do they know but to be a savage? You're saying they're doing things wrong, but whoever taught them that they're wrong? They in school, the teacher saying they bad, they disrupted my class. Where's the guidance counselor? Where's this parent coming held accountable for it? You understand? So these kids, we got the knowledge, but what we doing with it? I mentor children. At my house, he can tell you, I have 4 children. They're grown now, 26 to 31, but I took everybody's kids. I fed everybody. Reread these books. We gonna do this. Yeah, it takes a village to raise a kid. I am a village and I raise everybody's children, but it can't be just me. We can read the Quran, the Bible, because I went to Sister Claire Muhammad School. Kyle Kelly taught me. I mean, my father was Muslim. Everybody knew. When I'm at my grandmother's house, oh, I know your daddy teach you this, but we gonna read this Bible and you going to Sunday school with him in jail. So I can quote the Quran and the Bible. I know all my prayers. When my family die, I'm doing their janazah. I'm doing what I need to do. I know my prayers. And then I can take that hat off and wear another hat. But where's the hat I need to get these children here to say, look, we eat breakfast in the morning. This book you read, you ain't got to go out there stealing from these kids. I'm talking to those kids in YAB. They looking at me like I'm speaking French. Oh, what are you talking about? Why are you doing? That's all I know.
Can I say something?
Let me back in.
And then how do you expect that kid to come to class?
And that's the question right there. That's the question.
Let me interject. So Your sister talked about what she's doing and what she does for the children. But I have to say, that didn't come in a vacuum. You just spoke about your upbringing and the information that you received that now causes you to give back and do the things that you do. And that's what I'm saying in terms of you had a different kind of upbringing, a different rearing. You were taught. You were given that which
So
now
we gotta teach these kids.
you were given that which now allows you to give back because you know the value of yourself and you know the value of them and you know what they need. So we have individuals that have this kind of information, you understand? And we work in our own areas and our own avenues. But one of our issues that have always been our issues is our ability to come together collectively and unite. It has been shown that black folks could come together, and that has never been the problem of us coming together, but the issue has always been us staying together.
You don't have to come together with me to go to them children.
Can I interject?
I also want to say something. We're talking about parents, like they said, babies having babies. This is a new generation. And even now, if you say, well, Malik was down the street doing something, and you go to his mother, she might want to, no, my son wasn't, and beat you up. I grew up on Watson Avenue, Orange in the 70s. We had that village. My block was like the movie Crooklyn, in the Spike Lee film. It was a connection. The neighbors watched out for each other. Street lights came on. I got a clothing line that promotes that. You went in the house.
Yep.
One lady on the block, the ball went in her yard. She was a little extreme, Miss Scruggs. She called the cops. The ball went in her yard, you know what I mean? And she was telling your mother, your grandmother, whoever, what was going on. But it was the point of that village to raise the child. People looking out for each other. It's not my problem, or no, my son, no, my child.
So basically what we saying, what happened to the village?
No, listen, we still got the village.
I don't think we do.
Look at my face.
Maybe some
we got a village, Jesus. Yes, we got a village. Right. But if you expect today's village to rape, no, you bugging. I said it before, man, if I left my 5-year-old daughter with today's village, man, they gonna have my baby twerking and doing it they name. Come on. Listen, if I drop her, listen, if she's 12, she gonna know all the popular music. She gonna know all the hand gestures that the street organizations in that village do. But if she's 15, she know what it is to smoke reefer. Smoke a black and mild. 16, we burying her. Because I've allowed today's village to raise my child. No, sister, you do all of what you do. We need all of what you do because there are women. Just because you got a few gray whiskers don't make some of us women. Just like men, just because we got these big old beards and big old beards and big old don't make us men. Right.
But if the village is children having children, then they are going to teach you.
No, hear me. Hear me. I'm talking about, because mommy, y'all still around.
We need the old school village.
Mommy's still around, but we practicing this new art. It's called sipping my tea. I'm minding my business. Ain't that Basima daughter over there with that boy smoking reefer? Let me mind my business. Right. But the thing is, we don't do that anymore. We lost the word of the year is called accountability. That's where I was going with this. No, at this point, man, I don't even like this guy here. But I do know his son. I even played ball with his son. I don't like the father, but his son doing something crazy. So I'm gonna be his father while he ain't around. Man, bring your ass over here. What you doing? Let me talk to your father about this. We don't do it because I come to learn about the women. I'm worthy, y'all. Pray for me. I know what I've come to learn about the women, right? God had wired you to be a nurturer. That's why you did all of what you did and all of what you do, because you catered to your nurturing spirit that God gave you.
There is a passage in the Bible that says, love thy neighbor, but it continues as you love thyself. So if you don't love yourself, how can you love your neighbor? You see what I'm saying? Exactly. So the lack of knowledge of self causes the lack of love for self.
Right.
And if you don't love yourself, how can you do for yourself?
Right.
If you don't do for you, how can you do for others that look like you?
Right.
You understand? So we are continuing this educational system that have never had our best interests in mind and heart to educate our babies and our children out of necessity because we got to go to work. So we need now the school is like a daycare center because we don't really care what they are educating our children about, long as our children have somewhere to go while we do what we need to do. So we say the children is the future, but we are not preparing the future for them. So there's a scripture that says, prepare slaughter for the children for the iniquities of their fathers. You understand? So now our children are being slaughtered because you said it. The men are not being men, but who taught them how to be men? Who is and who has been the black man's frame of reference in terms of seeing what a man is, seeing what a man should do? Some of us have had that experience of meeting a man and knowing what a man have done. Some of us individually, but collectively, we have not experienced having a real men or real men in our life. As you said, your genitals does not make you a man.
Facts.
See, God said, let us make man in our image and our likeness. Let them have dominion.
Right.
See, power to be able to control your own destiny.
Facts.
And us as black men in America, we have not had the power to control our own destiny. We have let somebody else control our destiny. But that has been a big portion or reason for our downfall. We have to be re-educated, retrained. We have to be, or we gonna continue to stay in this condition that we are currently in.
Let me ask one more another question before we get off farther on the topic. Go back to police brutality. let me ask this a common question that everybody is be asking is: should we be more focused on black violence than police brutality?
No.
So basically, like clean up your own backyard.
Yeah.
So basically, clean up your own backyard before we focus on.
I don't think.
See, this was going. Can I finish
Go ahead,
this? Because
please.
I was going somewhere with my brother. I appreciate you, soldier. Somebody said to me, as a matter of fact, I've come to learn this my damn self. They said the worst thing you can do is send your child away from your house to expect for them to get educated better than you can educate them. Right, my man, what's his name? Mr. William Cosby. We call him Bill Cosby.
Right.
He came to New Hope Baptist Church one day and he said something. You know, people getting on me for putting black people's trash on the streets. He said, well, honestly speaking, black people's trash hit the streets every day around 2:30 to 3 o'clock when your child leave the schoolhouse. Being a public speaker, I go speak at the high schools regularly. And you see that our children are in these schools for 8 hours and they learning stuff. You got what they call them charter schools, they teaching them stuff. But then the moment the bell ring, they leave out the door, you will see little man or little sis producing what they learned at home. Facts. Facts. So now we gotta say, well, the home is us. Police brutality. Wait, because we putting ourselves out in harm's way for the police to deal with us that way. Again, back because they putting the tattoo on us on the TV screen saying that we nuts. Boom. And then they look at the test scores and saying they nuts. Then they looking at the pharmacy list at the pharmacy, and they're all the people that's taking the drugs is the little kids. So these little niggas crazy. Man, we gotta knock them off before they knock us off because the police like, man, I'm going home tonight. Right, so now they pull us over. That joker looked like he go hard. When in fact in prison, again, back to prison, I was about to come home, I got the newspaper, it was like 2 years old, but I got it and I read it, it was good information, but they said on the front page, they said North kids was the most unfriendly kids in the 112 cities. But then I came home, bro, and all the boys clubs was closed.
Yes, sir.
I seen everything, Flip City was closed. Everything was closed. Wait a minute, so it was a little, the other day, we doing a Men's on Fire thing, and it was this little fella, I forget his name, but he used to, every time they pop firecrackers, this little dude running and crying like, they killed my brother before, my uncle, But then I seen him the other day, I'm like, bro, you ain't coming to the meeting? He said, for what? What I'm coming to the meeting for? So I'm trying to speak to him like, come on, bro, you know what I'm about. So I had to get real. I'm like, what you think, you special? Man, these streets will eat you like a cookie, boy. He was like, all right, Black Power, I'm coming with you. And then we went to the meeting. See, the thing is, I have to not be consumed with all of what they saying about me.
Right, exactly. And that goes to what I was going to say.
I gotta stay in his face. So what? Yeah, I'm a little retarded. I've been to jail. I did. So what? Don't judge me. But I'm still gonna take your little black ass fishing. Let's go. We gotta go.
But see, it's the realness they like, and kids know the real from the phony, and that's what you notice in the classroom. We need more of you. This is a different generation. I mean, even when I was subbing and their teachers were gone, not coming back, giving up, I started teaching like Tupac. I got in trouble one day because I had to get creative. I started teaching. In fact, I showed a panel about a conversation about his music and him being a poet. His poetry is now actually a class at the, I believe it's the University of
North Carolina.
There's also in LA.
They got a class on Tupacology.
Yes. But you have to be different. But we need more of him. Somebody that's real, that's approachable.
Yeah.
to engage the kids. Well, they're not going to listen.
But
See, now it's a whole host of organizations, and that's what we try to advocate, right? We try to work with as many organizations as possible. Anytime we can link up, because we started as just an organization focused on the racism within the Black Police Department. That's why our organization was started.
But can I ask you a question though? I don't mean to cut you off. But why us as black people, we so divided? Like, it could be a church right here. It could be a mosque across the street. It could be another church down the street, but they don't mess with each other. I see that all the time. They don't mess with each other. I said, this is a church too. That's a church over there. I said, why don't, if y'all want to get something going on, why you go over there? Oh, well, we talk to them. They don't really want to, you know.
Well,
That's a church over there. There's a mosque across the street. They don't mess with the Christian people over here.
You gotta understand that unity is not sameness.
Right.
Unity is not sameness. We not all gonna all be the same.
We're not monolithic.
God gave us unity. He gave us the greatest show of what unity should be when He created the human body. You understand? Every organ has a different size and a different shape. They all got their own function, but they work in commonality in order to produce movement in the body. So everybody is not going to do the same thing. They're not going to think the same thing. God created us different on purpose. You understand? But we ought to come together and learn from each other, not condemn each other, and not to always argue. We can argue and have a discussion, you understand? But it should not get to the point where we no longer we can't work on creating that which will help us to fix our condition. Because you might know what you know, I know what I know, and she know what she knows. But us individually is not going to help and clean up the collective or the whole. So you take what you take your expertise, I take my expertise, you take your expertise, and then we bring it together to create a nice gel where we can clean up the community.
That's what I was starting to say. Because my issue as president of Brian Shields is that, like you said, this organization only wants to work with them. Her organization wants to work with her. It's all separated.
That's division.
When we can do so many things in common. So we went on a mission and we started doing it, and we started seeing that it can work. It can work, and it does work. And right now we collaborate with churches, youth organizations, and do everyone.
Should we make sure that's some type of movement that, all right, we just start working with each other to make this a better place, instead of just keeping focus on police brutality and we focus on this right here. Let's clean up our own backyards, and then we can go out there, then we can go fight the real evil out there.
Listen, can I please? Go ahead. Thank you.
I know you wordy.
He ready to go win.
Come on,
Listen, what I come to learn, right? I'm from North, man. I see that the Spanish community, they dollar circulate 22 times before it leaves.
Speak on it.
I even see the Chinese people, they dollar circulate like 36 times before it leaves. Wait a minute, can I talk about the Jewish community? These dollars circulate like 56 times before it go. Yep. But then my dollar. It circulate one half time.
I'm going,
It's going in 15 minutes. Wait a minute. Brother Muhammad, he got a eatery over there, and I'm hungry. I'm not gonna mess with him because his prices ain't right.
Right. You'd rather
the sister right here, she do some nails and some feet, boy. But I don't like her attitude, so I'm gonna go over there. This sister right here, she make clothes. She got beautiful black girl denim. You dig? And her jeans is fit for the black woman's behind. But I don't know.
See,
I want to go over there. Wait a minute, let me finish. But I want to go over there. But then one day I came out my house and looked at my community and seen that it was torn apart. But then I see a whole bunch of stores in my community and ain't not near one ran by me, and they ain't even got my nephew in there sweeping the floor, none of them. Right, now we talking about empowering each other. The Jewish people, man, this Jewish guy don't like that Jewish guy because he had said something about him at the last bar mitzvah. But he run the building and he do electrical work, he's still gonna mess with them. Because they are taught that. I'm taught to not trust you. Why? Because they said the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was messing with a lot of women. I'm not supposed to like you because Farrakhan said hell with cracker. Yeah, I ain't supposed to mess with y'all because y'all just mess with each other. Y'all don't care about us. Oh, church house, y'all only good for taking the money, but you ain't giving nothing back. So I'm not messing with y'all. Yeah, Brian Shields, I understand you is who you is, but you still police. I remember seeing you down Green Street, man. You was the one that was fingerprinting me and you slapped me in my head because I shot an alias. Right. This is what's going on with us. Yeah. Right. Exactly. So until we come back, and I still, never mind the fact you said something about me on Facebook, I'ma still mess with you.
All we need to do is look to history, right? Like we had communities in the past where we were together, where we did have, you know, this sort of camaraderie and this sort of togetherness.
Like
I was just getting ready to talk about that. That's just one of, I think, maybe 8 or 9 different communities that we had.
Yeah, 60.
Flourishing. Oh, was it 60?
Over 60.
Okay, so it was a lot more. It was a lot more.
Tulsa, girl. It's Tulsa.
And, you know, me as a web developer, right? Like I work with companies as big as Johnson & Johnson down to like mom and pops, right? And my thing is like, if you look like me, I'm not only going to give you a discount, I'm probably going to do your website for free if you do something for me. Like I do that, you know, like I've done songs for rappers, for, you know, oh, let me get some time in the studio, you know, instead of charging you whatever dollars, you know, that kind of thing. Like we don't do that as often as possible. People look at me like, you crazy, yo, you can easily charge $2,000 for this website. Why are you not getting some money? I'm like, yo, I would rather help this man realize his vision, you know what I mean, and get his exposure on, because, you know, yeah, and then that, you know, is rewarding for me, and it helps the community in general. We don't have enough of that.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, like, after Tate, when we were just talking about Rosewood, and you said it was 60. It was 60 black,
I don't know
governed
about
black towns by black people. So why can't we get back to that? I mean, I know all of that was after slavery. We had different morals and values then. But now this is like 2016. You know, we got the internet, we got entertainment that's entertaining us. We divided as people. Our kids in the street from the block. You know, I mean, like it's just a lot of stuff that around nowadays that's take our attention away from stuff like that. So if we go out there and say, "Oh, come on, let's start another Rosewood, let's start another town like that."
You just answered your own
People
question.
will look at you like you crazy or you want a wino in the street. Why can't we get back to that point?
You just answered your own question.
It's
We are
done-
distracted.
It's done purposely.
It's done purposefully.
It's not being
Yeah.
done. It's not
Yeah,
being
we
done
were
in a
distracted.
vacuum. It's being done purposely. The division between us is fostered by outside entities and also things that we personally as black people deal with. The black man in America is ego starved. You understand? So he always want to be in charge. He always want to be noticed and recognized. It's natural for the human being to want to have attention because the ego itself, that's the God himself, to want to be recognized. God wanted to be known. And since the Bible says ye are all God's children of the Most High, we also want to be known. Right. You understand? So since we have been ego starved and we've been in a country where we've never been properly recognized, you understand? Those type of things is always what causes our organizations to suffer these setbacks. And our enemies and our oppressor knows that. So he uses jealousy and envy to always create strife and division because he knows it's there among us. But we as a people, we have to really begin to self-correct, self-analyze, and self-examine. You understand? We have to begin to study that which is going to improve the quality of our heart, our mind, our spirit. We have to change our dietary law. The brother said our problem is very broad and it has a lot of depth to it. It's not just a black and white solution because we are suffering on many avenues. We was never taught the science of business, the science of warfare, the science of mating. These are sciences that was kept away from us as black people and we never learned them. So our condition is very, very, very unique. So when you talk about what the Jews do, the Jews have never experienced what we experience.
No. Right, yeah.
When you talk about what the Latinos and the Mexicans, overall, they have their own experience, but not what we have experienced.
Right.
We have been robbed of our culture, our name, our identity. You understand? And then not what we just robbed, but we are still in the system that robbed us of it.
Right.
You understand? Right. But even though you can lay the fault, the initial sin on the lap of our oppressor, it's now 2016. And as I said, the information is available. It's
There's
there.
no
You have people.
We carry around more information on these things than we've ever had at any time.
Who have the
within
knowledge.
history.
But now we need boots on the ground. See, it's not enough to be on the camera or on the internet. We need people who are going to be in the neighborhood, knocking on doors, talking, teaching these young brothers, engaging them in activities. See, everybody want to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
Right.
Jesus said, he who seeks to save his life shall lose his life. And many of our people who do have the knowledge and the insight, we can say it plain, they're scared to death.
Yep.
You understand? They're scared to go out there and talk to that young brother who might got that pistol on him. They're scared to go into these certain neighborhoods at certain times of night. Why? Because perfect love casts out fear. And they don't love themselves enough to love these young brothers who are killing. You might have to die. But hell, what are you willing to sacrifice to make your neighborhood a decent place to live? But we are always taught, get a job and move out the hood. You understand? Get a degree and move out the hood. But we're never taught, get a job, get an education that will allow you to make your neighborhood a decent place to live. Why the hell I gotta move? No, I shouldn't have to move. I should make where I live a decent place to live.
Right.
And that's what we have to do.
That helps against
We
the
as
police
individuals
brutality.
need to come together. We need to have that unity and take whatever gift we have and give back to these youth. There's two things I did. One, people thought I was crazy, but I found out in Newark, there's certain times of year where they have a gun turn-in program. I took a little flyer, typed the number, and started walking around Broad and Market and saying, just something like, save our youth, turn guns and get cash. Someone that was getting ready to rob, usually some people, our youth rob out of hunger, or people commit crime out of not having. You give them an alternative, you may not be able to stop someone from murdering, but if you give them, listen, this is a number, you can get this out your hand and you can get paid. One of the first things people ask me, well, if I do this, where can I, get a job? And I don't have the power over, employing people in that way. But what I did as an individual, I, everyone has a gift. You have a gift. Everyone here does. Mine is the arts. I created a movement where I took a script that I had and I got a team and I just made up a simple flyer and I passed it around Newark. Anyone that want to act, I'm looking for you, and show up at this open call audition. Many kids came out. About 6 stayed, and we're actually in a film and actually got to see a dream happen. One just had an audition for Empire.
Nice.
And if we use whatever gift, like you said, don't be afraid to go out into the community, to the kid that may have the gun, to the gang member on the corner, and tell them there's a way out, and that, offer whatever you have going in your life.
And I be jealous when I see my brother begin to express a talent that God gave him, or a talent that God gave you. Not be jealous and try to knock him down. No, this is my brother. I want him to shine. You my sister. I want you to shine. This is my sister. I want you to shine. I want your organization to be successful, because your success equals our success. And when we begin to look at it like that, then we'll be better than ever.
But that starts from a love of self. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta love myself. You see, I want to succeed, and I want to see my brother succeed as well. It comes from a love of self, and that's what we gotta be out here trying to teach these kids. A lot of times we have these programs, and we get criticized, right? We get criticized in the mainstream because they say we want this program called Hug a Thug, right? So instead of Hug a Thug, that's what they call it, right? Because back in the day, when we hit the corner, you know what I mean? We adjusted you, you know what I mean?
Right.
We handled you. But now we say, yo, my man, come here. Let me talk to you. You know what I mean? And this is what we doing. Facts. But what happens is, when I put my arm around him, I don't have to record check you every time I see you. Right. You know what I mean? But you got to know who I am. I got to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And the next time I see him, he can identify with me. He not that dude over there that I need to handle. You know what I mean? That's that brother that I talked to last week. And I said, hey, remember me? Let's talk, and it really works.
That's right.
It does work.
But it starts from loving yourself and understanding
that goes
your
back
purpose.
to the original what I was saying. I love me. Wait a minute. I learned a couple of things. I've learned that I really cannot teach my son to be a good man. I don't know how. It's impossible. Right. Like they say, it's imperative that every man should know how to tie a tie. I beg to differ. I think that you should teach the man to want to wear a tie. Okay. In order for me to teach my son to be a good man, I gotta be a good man.
That's right.
Facts.
That's right.
I can utter the words. I can
That's right.
speak Swahili and everything.
That's right.
But I teach my son how to be a man or be whatever I be.
That's right. You can't make them what you're not.
You can't. I can't teach you how to be a pastor when I ain't never been to church.
You can't make them what you're not.
I can't. So what we have to do is, I'm going to be the man I want you to be. So I got to be careful. I even got to show you how I love your mother, man. Because I know you hear me call her. I know you heard me curse out. Right. But you also got to see me love on her too. Because the little dudes, I remember being younger. No. I remember being younger and my uncles used to glorify to me how they was pimps. What? They said, nephew, I get more girls by mistake than you get on purpose. So what I did was, I grew up with that same mentality. But something happened. I woke up and noticed that the girls I was getting by mistake had feelings. And then God allowed me to lay between a woman's legs and make daughters. 15-year-old daughter the other day was in her feelings. I said, baby, what's wrong? She was like, nothing. But then I look at her phone, it rings, some little boy. I said, man, I would snap this joker's neck if he hurt my baby. So so now I got to go back and reteach myself because y'all taught me wrong. Uncle, you told me it was what's up to being a gangster, man. I'd have been in jail and there wasn't no palm trees. I seen the pictures with you at the palm tree. I didn't see none down there. So wait a minute, I gotta come back. I gotta fix it. Because they wrong. We've been led astray, run them up, and all of that.
And if we don't love them, the gang members will invite them.
No, man, that's the saddest thing in the world, man, for your boy. You look like the type of sister. Both of y'all look like the type of sisters that got children, that got their own room, their favorite rappers' posters on the wall with the iPads, the shoes, the Jordans. Right, but then this kid still leave the house and join the death style. Right, what does it say about us?
Every organization has to have some degree of social responsibility. You understand? Every prophet of God, he came and he was commissioned with a social responsibility. So if I represent this prophet, then I should be doing the work that he was doing. So Jesus said, I've given you an example that you might do to others that I have done unto you.
Come on.
And what did Jesus do? Well, the Bible says, and she shall bring forth a son, that shall call his name Jesus, and he shall save his people from their sins.
Come on.
Then it says, I've come that you might have life, and that you might have life more abundantly.
Right. Come on.
So if I'm representing this one, then I should be found doing the work that he did. It said that he was in the byways and the highways. I mean, all the prophets of God, they had a social responsibility, and they showed and proved that their God was the God. Not by the talk they spoke, but by the works they did. So there's a passage in the scripture where it says, faith without works is dead. It says that a man is justified by his works. See, faith is justified by your works because mere belief accounts for nothing unless it is carried into practice. So as God is love and my church or my mosque is in the neighborhood, then love should be in that neighborhood. If God is love and I have God,
say that,
then wherever I am, love should be, right? And I think that we have gotten away from the social aspect. Mosque, church, synagogue. And it's not that they do good work. They have their lane. But I just think that the people expect more because the people invest their money there. They invest their time there. And they want to be able to go and get a withdrawal. And they want to be able to see these people who are professing God make the community a community that's reflective of God. Because the book does says God is not the author of confusion, but he's the author of peace. So wherever I am, if I have God, then peace should be there. Some degree of peace should be there. And I just think, that's why a lot of people are very critical. But we also got to understand why religion was given to us. It was not given to us to make us better men or better human beings. It was given to us to make us more docile, more passive, more submissive. It was used as a tool and an agent to control us. So when you know the origin of it, then you look at it, you say, damn, you're doing what you was created to do. But it's not that they have not done good work, because a lot of the slave revolts that happened in the 1800s, the 1900s, they were started by members who attended church. Denmark Vesey, Nat Turners. These was preachers and pastors But the difference was that they did not take their oppressor's interpretation of what the book said. See, they read the story of Moses and they said, damn, when Moses was being oppressed, God didn't tell him to stay with his oppressor. He told Moses, tell Pharaoh to let my people go. Get the children of Israel, get the hell out of there and separate.
Right.
Because y'all differences are irreconcilable. Right. So either you gonna kill Pharaoh or Pharaoh gonna kill y'all. So before that happens, won't y'all just separate?
Right.
So they read it from that perspective. They read that Jesus was a savior, right? And that the book says, think not that I've come to send peace.
Right.
Nay, a sword. Right?
Right.
They read that gospel, not the gospel that their oppressor gave them. And I think we have been looking at these books and these scriptures through the wrong eyes.
Facts.
See, we've been looking at the King James Version.
Right.
Well, damn it, we got our own version.
Yeah.
We do.
And our version have to apply to our condition.
Say it.
You see what I'm saying? It has to be, your religion has to be applicable to what you're going through. And if it's not, it's a dry ass dust religion. I'll quote on this. I'll leave on this. Dr. King said, any religion that professes to be concerned with the souls of men, the slums that damn them, and the economic conditions that strangle them. He said, if they're not concerned with that, that's a dry ass dust religion. Such is a religion that the Marxists saw as an opiate of the people.
Say it.
Today we talking about police brutality. Like I said, we got great minds in here. We about to go off like a storm, baby. You know, God bless.